found on summer nail polish palettes. Coral crush, water orchid, blue la-la. Roughly cut sheets of galvanized metal laying on rooftops that pelted the heat back to the sun, and when it was rained on, sounded like gunfire. Dozing guard dogs beneath the sills of open windows and billowing cream curtains. Fuchsia and cotton bougainvillea petals spiraling down to front yards like the wings of butterflies. And stray dogs sniffing the street's open drains for scraps, their skins sliding along their rib cages, heads bowed low. All of this Onion said to us, his open palm moving across the room in panoramic scope, as if from the center of it he wished to project the sights of his story onto the walls, even though we were sitting right there on the island, and none of those things had really changed. The only time the story stopped was when the smile dropped from his face and he suddenly turned somber. Listen, you have to remember that Chevy wasn't some ordinary boy. I ain't only saying that because he's my friend, but because of what happened to him. By the time he was 12 years old, he lived 3 lives already. First, being born into this world. Second, as a suddenly only child. And finally, as an orphan. Later on, when I would be in my 20s in a country much further north, and when I sensed it was my turn to tell a story, I told the greatest one I knew. I channeled my inner onions and suppressed the accent that for years pleaded to be flung free from beneath my tongue. Often, Innes would be there. Listen, you guys, listen, I would say. It was a day in June 1982, a Friday. The high noon sun beamed a gold spotlight in the front yard of a snacket. That's what we call little convenience stores back home. For the most part, eyes would smile and bodies would relax. And if they didn't, I gave the abridged version. Innes would be smiling, having heard the story countless times since the 5th grade. She never listened less with each retelling. The story of my family is one of potholes and cracks that I have tried to fill over the years for no reason other than my own need to neatly pen a narrative. A beginning, middle, and an end, a sequential flow of things happening to my relatives over the course of time, so I cannot deny how I came to be. Why I am the way that I am. When I am sitting in a chair with an unturned book in my hand, gazing out of my London flat. When I am in the late-night grocery store and a group of people bustle in and out in comfortable gesture. When a good man asks why I cannot talk to them, why I can't just open up, and when I plead with a bad one to let me in. Or when finally in the company of someone I should be enjoying, but my only wish is to be alone, I look to my past that first provided me these early solitary linings. My home within that house and my home within my mother. I thumb through old family photographs and try to decipher the sideways glances in them, the 3 people out of 10 not smiling. Fine-tune my hearing to the after-dark whispers, long after the lights have been turned off. Read into the swollen silence after someone enters a room and another soon exits. Forget about what happened the night before. It never happened. This is how my family talks. My attempts to fill in the gaps are forced and eager, overreaching into the past and present, blurring fact and fiction. Like Onions, now I am the storyteller. I too narrate life in 3rd person as if already dead. I am outside of my body all the time. I travel atop the shoulders of everyone who has lived in the Florence Street house. I see the bones of their feet and the arcs of their backs wear brittle as I walk alongside them, years and years and years before I was born, in an effort to decode us. What my Auntie Ronnie is really doing and thinking cooped up in her room. Why my sister, Cecilia, can only be in the presence of our family for 30 minutes at a time before quietly slipping away. Why my Auntie Sangeetha uses the corridors as confessionals at night, pulling us into breathless, near-silent words, as if she were running out of time. Why a grainy picture of the little cousin I never knew, the glint in his eye immortalized at 8 years old, sits atop our mantel, but his name, like his mother's, is said only in whispers. Why Brioni, my older sister who lives at home at 36, adorns herself with expensive things, sometimes with the price tag still attached, but never bothers to dye her grays or conceal her blemishes. Why my mother, Leela, is a levitating orb of influence, the tenacity of her single